gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk with Saieed Ali. I am your host, Saeed. Straight to the update tonight, viewers. The Parent Teachers Association of Preysal Secondary School has condemned an incident in which students allegedly locked a police officer inside a classroom last Friday. PTA President Chris Balkaran Singh confirmed that the incident, but said the school has yet to issue an official statement. Preysal Secondary is one of the high-risk schools where police officers were stationed at the school for the new term. Balkaran Singh said the PTA fully support a police presence on the campus and believes students must respect the authority. So Trinidad and Tobago, we will talk about this in a few minutes from now. But it's sad. Into our current affairs now, viewers. The reassignment of executive portfolios by Police Commissioner Alistair Grovero has sent shockwaves throughout the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, TTPS. In a surprise action, the top cop sent Assistant Commissioner of Police, ACP Central and Southwest Division, Wayne Meister, on 16 months accrued vacation leave effective yesterday, 15 September. Deputy Commissioner of Police, Junior Benjamin, was moved from operation to administration. Suzette Martin from intelligence to operation, and Natasha George from administration to intelligence and investigation. However, apart from the transfers, questions are now being asked about why Meister was sent on leave at the height of the current state of emergency. Meister's letter, which was signed by Grovero, did not provide a reason for the directive efforts to contact COP Grovero were also unsuccessful. Speaking on the rearrangement of officers, former Commissioner Gary Griffith stated that this is not new. Gary.
This is what happens. This is what usually happens. This is no similar, no different, sorry, to a cabinet reshuffle. This happens at times. Sometimes when the person now takes over, he will analyze the character traits of the individuals, their pros and cons, and reshuffle. I did it on numerous occasions, and when I was trying to find some way that Erla Christopher could be of value, I couldn't, and because she couldn't keep up with my pace. And I spoke to those under my command, is you lead, follow, you get out of the way. Erla Christopher said she needed a break, and I gave, and I made the request for her to go on 2 years leave.
So Trinidad and Tobago, let's review our update tonight at the Preysal School. So now we understand how important police officers are at the Preysal School. So we're going to read it one more time so you would understand. For those of you who just tuning in, the Parent and Teachers Association of Preysal Secondary School has condemned an incident in which students allegedly locked a police officer inside a classroom last Friday. So Trinidad and Tobago, is the students of Preysal government this bad? This is what we have to understand now. And this is what the TTPS now, together with the Ministry of Education, have to reassess now the Preysal Secondary School. So if they could lock a police officer in a classroom, it shows that they have no respect for the law. No respect. So I wonder now, what is tutor president going to say about this now? I wonder what the NPTA now is going to say about this, because I believe recently they reversed their decisions on having police officers in schools. So I wonder what these two groups have to say now. Now Mr. Lumpkin will understand how serious These students are in Preysal government. So did Preysal government just gain a bad name? Worldwide? International news? How is it that the teachers now and the principal now of Preysal government is feeling? How is the ministry going to deal with this? Are they going to be more stern? What does Gatsby Dolly have to say now? All the bump she was bumping, she gone. What does she have to say now about this? You know, Gatsby Dolly said it's the PNM children. So I wonder now if it's the PNM children that did this. How do we find the culprits now? They are students. You know, we can't deal with them harsh. And we have to be careful. Look at what they're doing. Look at what they're doing. Locked a police officer in a classroom. It's sad. It's sad. And these are the same students and them you all want to have pity on. Students, human being, under 18. So how many students now is going to be suspended for this? This is what we want to know. What action is the Ministry of Education going to take, and how is the TTPS now going to deal with this, because this is one of them, officer. It's sad, It's really sad to know that that took place. When I say suspend them or expel them, public kicking brass. It's children, how we could do this, how we could do that, how we could do the next. Look what they do, the police officer. The policeman go on there to make sure he was assigned there from the TTPS, and Ministry of Education give them okay. When there, about his daily job to secure students at that school from being victims of bullying, abuse, being battered, and look what he got. So, as tonight is Monday night, how do you think police officers now? Listen to me very carefully. How do you think police officers now are going to deal with students of Preysal government now? Do you think police officers are going to have pity on students now? I'm asking Lom Kim this question. Do you think police officers will have pity on the students at Preysal government? You be the judge of that. You be the judge, Trinidad and Tobago. So as we move on, Justice for Borders protested outside the industrial court on Monday as they claim the court has failed in its mandate. A representative said the industrial court was created for a specific purpose, and one of its main objective, which is not being properly executed, is the court expeditious system for the settlement of trade discipline. Listen to this.
This is between 6 months to 2 years. And what we have today is a court that is dragging matters before it for over 9, 10, 15 years and more. That is nonsense. Not the two that is supposed to complete it, 9 and 10 and 15 years. That is a big a very big failure.
He argued that the system is worsening, as presently delays and alleged purposeful engineered. He said they are also calling for the biasness of some judges to stop. Strong statement. Listen to this.
It has now become a practice where these delays are engineered. So they are deliberately created. This is one of the reasons we are calling for this to stop. We are calling for this to cease. We are also calling for the bias and the abuse of power by judges in this court to cease. We have brought it to the attention of the Judicial and Legal Service Commission, whose duty and responsibility is to investigate these complaints against these judges.
He said that these judges are known to the Chief Justice and throughout the judiciary where there could be plans to shield them. He is calling for the right thing to be done and for corruption in the industrial court to come to a cease. Let's hope something is done about it. That is all we can do. Chief Justice Ivor Archie has announced he will retire, ending a 17-year tenure as the Trinidad and Tobago youngest and longest serving Chief Justice. Speaking at the ceremonial opening of the 2025-2026 law term on Tuesday, Archie, who turned 65 soon, said he will confirm his retirement date later. Appointed in 2008, Archie made history with his appointment. He stressed he was retiring, not resigning from the bench. There is a difference. Listen to this.
I have decided to retire, not resign, retire, at a time of my own choosing, and not to wait until I reach the age of 70. There will always be unfinished business, no matter when I leave, but I have decided to retire during this term, so this will be my last speech. A further announcement will be made closer to the time of my departure. But it has been a remarkable journey.
After recalling all his achievements made as Chief Justice, Archie said, one must have a life beyond their career. Well said.
High public office requires sacrifice of family, self, and the freedom to pursue other avenues of interest. And while it is a privilege to serve, each of us must decide about what we want for ourselves at any given stage in life. Chief Justice is what I do. It's not who I am. And over the past 2 years, as I've approached the age of 65, I have seen my life journey with greater clarity and perspective.
So now, viewers, the soon-to-be retired Chief Justice expressed his appreciation for the support given to him by his fellow judges and the judicial officers. Archie, one more time.
I could not run the judiciary without them. I would like to thank all of the support and ancillary staff. Without you, there is no court. I especially want to thank my little team in the Office of Chief Justice, who have patiently surrounded me with unstinting generosity and love.
So Trinidad and Tobago, I am proud to present to you now my yacht from this weekend, coming this week, is available for rental down the island, tours, line, party, cook. From this weekend, it is available for rent, viewers. This is my private yacht. I decided, you know what? We decided to rent it out now. The Realtalk Group, Realtalk Equipment, Realtalk Security, we have decided, you know what, Saeed? You enjoyed it? Now it's time to let some folks now enjoy your yacht. This was my personal thing. You know, according to Archie, After your hard work, you must have a little something to relax yourself on. Well, this was my relaxing mood. So I have decided to rent it out to the public. On weekends, weekdays, down the islands. You can contact me at 339-1670 viewers. Also, we have live DJs. You could be able to cook on the boat, viewers. You don't need to walk with your duck. We carrying our duck on the boat. You understand? So, look, that big blue thing you see in there, that is a big barbecue pit. It's a big barbecue pit. I used to enjoy this, you understand? But I'm on to something different now, viewers. So those of you who want to go down the island, you can contact me. 4 or 5 hours you can rent out the boat for. You want it for the whole day, you want it for the weekend, it's not a problem, viewers. Contact me at 339-1670. Let me tell you something, you can party on the boat, you'll have a nice time on the boat. Look at the seating interior, it's perfect. For the family, for friends, for executives, you name it. Call me, we'll set up an appointment, meeting, whatever it is, and you can enjoy my yacht, just like I used to enjoy it. So viewers, we have a call on the line. Caller, good night.
A very, very good evening to you, Mr. Saieed.
To you, my friend.
While it is true that Iva Ati Chief Justice is the youngest appointee to that position, after so many years, this is my opinion, right? I think he has failed because the judiciary is in a total chaos and mess.
Yep.
And there are tens of thousands of matters in backlog.
Correct.
So I think he has failed. All the best.
Thank you, my friend. So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break. More when we return.
We'll be right back.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the glaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
You a curveball and you need a clear path forward. Trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Welcome back.
So remember Trinidad and Tobago, it's just a few days again for this month to finish. Remember, Real Talk Financing is offering you a 6% on fixed deposit only for the month of September. You still have a few days in this month to get your fixed deposit done, viewers. 6% interest up front. No other financial institution is offering you that except Real Talk Financing. So remember, don't miss it out, viewers. Reacting to Chief Justice Iva Archie retirement, Justice Minister Devish Marad said, The news took him by surprise. Ooh, Davish.
Used in his speech, he had quite a long term from 2008 as he described, and making this transition. So it's something that would have taken all of us, I mean, by surprise, you know, but of course there were always rumors and so on. But take my surprise that he's actually saying that he's going.
Minister Maraj also mentioned that positive change will soon be made. Meanwhile, head of the Criminal Bar Association, Israel Khan, says the Chief Justice retirement has brought him a sense of relief. Imagine that, eh? Many wanted him gone. I could say that on national television. Many wanted him gone. Khan, he says, he was accused of wanting the Chief Justice position, but claimed that he has exceeded the age limit and does not have the temperament to be a judge. Listen to this.
It's 7 years I have been struggling to have this man removed. I do not have what is necessary. I can't manage people. I can't suffer fools easily. If I am sitting down and hearing a matter and the lawyers who appear before me making bogus submission or making submission they ought not to make, I will jump in the arena. I'll get into trouble. I cannot listen and pretend. So I wouldn't make a good judge. A judge must first listen.
I will tell you something, Trinidad and Tobago. Israel Khan, trust me, the man good at what he does. I will tell you that. He good at what he does. And if he says judging thing is not for him, trust me, the man knows what he's saying. He knows what he is saying. Now, Attorney Larry Lala, SC, commends the Justice Chief on his decision to step down and said, change is good, Larry.
He has highlighted the very extensive changes he has brought over his 17 and a half years as Chief Justice, and we look forward to see who will be taking over from him during the next year.
Caller, good night.
Hi, good night, Saeed.
Go right ahead, you're live.
Okay, firstly, let me say I want to congratulate Mr. Israel Khan, Senior Counsel, for putting pressure for Iva Archie. He shouldn't retire. He should resign. He was an abysmal failure because he has brought the judiciary into disrepute. The last issue with the former Chief Magistrate, Marcia A. Caesar, that went to the Privy Council was not a rule in her favor.
Yes.
And, you know, action should have been taken against him. He should not just allow to be retired. He should be investigated and charged for misbehavior in public office because there were so much other issues, you know, with Al-Rawi and all them things that he failed to act on the side. And I am saying that. Now, Saeed, I want to draw an extra thing. I heard on the news tonight that 20 blocks of the marijuana that was seized, what it was by the police, went missing from the Baratare police station.
Yes.
Are you aware of that, Saeed?
Yes, yes.
I want to find out something. If there is a room where these things are lodged, seized thing, how come it is that they don't have cameras and that only certain people have access to that room? How come that can happen, Saeed, without those in higher authority, you know, knowing what is going on? And then what is even more frightening is that we see now with a lot of police being transferred, sent on vacation leave, being demoted and what have you on the side. I want to applaud this government and the Commissioner of Police. Take the hard decisions. Because you see Suzette Martin and all of them, with the Brent Thomas thing and matter and all of that. All these matters ought to be investigated. People supposed to be making jail. And I am saying that this police commissioner together with the government, maybe the Attorney General and whoever it is, Minister of National Security and all these people, let them do what is right. It may be unpopular, but this is the only means and only way that people can restore some confidence in the police service, because right now,
thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend. So, viewers, the National Council of Parent Teachers Association, NPTA, has reversed its position on assigning police officers with guns in national schools. NPTA President Walter Stewart said the change of heart came after a recent fight between a teacher and a student at the Arima North Secondary School. It was only 2 weeks ago that Stewart had objected to the idea of armed police officers being stationed in school. Now he says their presence is necessary even if they do not engage with rowdy students. Listen to this.
Well, our initial reaction to that was no way. We wanted to have police officers at the school, certainly, but unarmed. But a review of the process indicating that if anything is to happen, God forbid, that the officers, in order to be able to respond rapidly to the situation, there would be need for armed police officers in designated specific schools. So we have gone along with that thinking, that philosophy, so that there are designated officers, there are officers with lethal in specific schools.
It surprises me now, how they come all of a sudden and change their minds. But I will tell you something. Abuse have been going on in school for far too long. The former education minister did absolutely nothing to deal with issues like these. Absolutely nothing to deal with issues. Now this new government steps in, a new minister of education steps in, police officers in schools, tutor and NPTA went against it. Now, NPTA reversed their decision, police officers in school with firearm. So, because of a fight. But the thing is, fights have been going on in school for decades. And nobody said anything about it. It's sad. It's sad to know that we have leaders in our country who willfully knows of the abuse and the bullying and the fighting in school and does nothing. Why are you there if you are doing nothing? Better you go and catch fish. Better you go and plant some garden or something. Make yourself useful. Call it good night.
Good night, Saeed.
Go right ahead.
You know what is totally unacceptable, sir? We've seen the Venezuelan defense minister, whoever he is, referring to our prime minister as a drunk prime minister. What someone such disrespect? I know it's only one set of people, which is the opposition, the PNM, that have this kind of disrespect for people. Why is it that they are allowing outside our country, especially like Venezuela, sir, to disrespect our honorable prime minister, who is on the track, who is on the right track to bring this country out of the mess that the PNM leaving? And sir, what is disturbing? You have the media and the press. Whenever you have functions, they are only singling out the opposition. Why is it? Is the opposition paying them? The perception was always there that the media and the press is the PNM. Why is it they are only singling out them for content? Like I was looking today, they are the Chief Justice, the new law firm. And you're going to the opposition. There are more people, there are government people that you want to find out what is going on. And they're siding with them. It gives the public the impression, this can be verified to as well. If they are in cahoots with the Venezuelans, this could be tantamount to treason, sir. To destabilize a democratically elected that the country voted for so overwhelming to destabilize them. I think the police should look into these things because they, all these, how much millions of US they pay for dragon gas. What did we get for it? All around you're seeing corruption that is being unveiled. Why isn't Dr. Rowley called upon to account for these failures? It was under his watch.
Correct.
And why is it, if the shoe was on the other foot, they would have pestered Congress day and night for answers. These things, we must look at it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, my friend. So, viewers, speaking on the matter in which the parent assaulted the students last week, Stewart stated that this or there is a zero tolerance against this type of behavior. Stewart, one more time.
Well, zero tolerance when it comes to that. There is no way that we can condone a parent going into a school and literally attacking a student, even if your child may have been involved in some infraction or in some issue with another child. It is not the remit of the parents so to do under any circumstances.
Should the parent be held accountable if they...
Certainly be held accountable, because there are systems, there are procedures, there are processes where the parent can come before the school, make his complaints, and take it to the next level if needs be, to the school supervisor, take it even to the CEO as well. So there are layers of protection for the parent, for the child, and you need to make use of those layers.
So viewers, we are going for a short commercial break, but stay locked on. There's lots more when we return.
We'll be right back.
At Real Talk Studios, we dedicate our time to highlight the blaring issues we face within our community. Catch us live every Wednesday between 7 to 8 p.m. Real Public Concern. Because your concerns are meant to be heard. Send your email to realpublicconcerns@gmail.com.
You a curveball, and you need a clear path forward. Trust Real Talk Wrecking Service to get you back on track. Whether you're stuck on the roadside or dealing with an unexpected breakdown, our 24/7 wrecking service is just one call away. Fast response, reliable towing, and a team that's got your back. At Real Talk Wrecking Service, we don't just tow, we rescue. Real Talk Wrecking Service, your lifeline on the road to recovery.
Welcome back.
So, welcome back to Real Talk. Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Bissessar has delivered a critics, I should say, of the country's foreign exchange system, saying that the government intends to bring legislation that will allow the Central Bank of Trinidad and Tobago to reveal all Forex allocations. Now, viewers, we have a list of names that got large amount of Forex. We're talking about 7 and 8 digits. But for various reasons, I am not going to mention these company names as yet. Not as yet. We have the list. but I'm just verifying to make sure that these are the individuals who got the 6 and 7 and 8 digits of US currency. At present, it is against the Central Bank Act of the Central Bank to release such details. Now you understand why I didn't mention names? Good. She also declared that the Exim Bank, the Export-Import Bank of Trinidad and Tobago, has failed to function properly and accused the commercial banks of operating as Forex cartel that are strangling local business. The PM comments following published data from Exim Bank showing that pharmaceuticals and chicken companies have dominated foreign exchange location over the past 5 years. Now, like I said, viewers, I have a list of individuals, their names and their company, but for various reasons, I am not going to post it up. Even myself suffer for US from the bank. Even myself. Because at one point in time, I wanted to know if it's really 200 and 300 an individual is getting over the counter. So one morning I got up, organized, and I went to a bank right in Shogunas that I deal with, and I lined up outside as a normal individual. A t-shirt, jeans, sneakers, and I went in and asked, Mr. Said, all you could get is 200. That is the limit. I was like, serious? They said yes. I said, okay. I took my 200 and I left. Today I can tell you that. But nevertheless, during a post-cabinet media briefing in May, the Prime Minister had vowed to deal with foreign exchange distribution. Listen to this.
So we need to know where the Forex went, to whom it went, why it went, and how it was deployed, how it was used. Those reports will come to us and we will share them with you. Then, this report, as I say, will be made public to identify the main users, the main facilitators of this unfair distribution, and explain to the public how this entire Forex distribution cartel and conspiracy between certain operatives and businesses were functioning.
However, Trinidad and Tobago, earlier this month, Central Bank Governor Larry Hawaii stated that there was no evidence of a Forex cartel. Hawaii.
From our perspective, we have no evidence that would suggest there is a cartel. There are lots of, I've been told that there is a black market somewhere out there. The extent of that black market, how pervasive it is, I have no real data on that right now.
He wants data on the black market. Finance Minister wants data on the black market. Let me tell you something, Finance Minister. The black market is real. I cannot go in the bank and get $10,000 or $5,000. It just don't happen. It don't. I am telling you from experience, it does not happen. The black market now is where I am paying $7.55. Why? Because we cannot get it in the bank. I can't. I have an equipment rental company, and if we had to buy parts or shipping equipment, I'm telling somebody it take time. The bank not releasing. Why? Because we are not important. We are not important. It's sad, It's very, very sad. Now, former Finance Minister Vishnu Danpal said, Exim Bank Forex list is not controversial since companies that sold essential items were listed. It was listed. So Exim Bank is the import-export bank for foreign US currencies for probably who in the marketing industry. Yeah. But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, Kamala says she will get to the bottom of it and fix the problem. So hopefully, small people like we could probably go over the counter and get 5,000 US. But nevertheless, switching gears, on September 11th, there was a warning from Venezuela Vice President Delcy Rodriguez to Trinidad and Tobago saying, take it easy, do not dare. Listen to this.
Un mensaje muy claro a los gobiernos vasallos del Departamento de Guerra de los Estados Unidos, el gobierno de Trinidad y Tobago, el gobierno de Guyana. Tómenlo con calma, no se atrevan y no se les ocurra. Se están prestando para los planes perversos de una agresión contra el pueblo de Bolívar. Pero también, presidente, se están prestando para desestabilizar a todo el Caribe y a este continente.
So Trinidad and Tobago, I want to ask you all something. Was it the same Delcy Rodriguez, the Vice President of Venezuela, came into Trinidad and Tobago to meet Dr. Rowley and his team when there was a restriction, well, no boat and plane to enter Trinidad and Tobago during the COVID time? Now she's warning Trinidad and Tobago. Imagine that. Imagine that. Boy. Days after, Prime Minister Kamala Persad responds saying she will dare to keep the people of Trinidad and Tobago safe. Listen to this now.
I will dare to do what I have to do to keep the people of Trinidad and Tobago safe, and that is my priority. I've said TNT first. That is my priority. I have no intention. We've had no discussions of invading Venezuela, of stepping onto Venezuelan soil. Nothing of the sort is happening. With respect to the American presence in the Southcom, they have been here before. This is not the first time. They have been here before, and I said before, I welcome them. If that can help us stem the criminality, the trafficking, the narco-trafficking, the human trafficking, and the pain and suffering that brings to the people here, then yes, we welcome them and look forward to their cooperation with us. At the moment, we have had no discussions with respect to invading Venezuela, with respect to TNT going onto the soil of Venezuela. It's just fear-mongering, a lot of this fear-mongering. There have been no discussions with the US or anyone else. However, I repeat, should Venezuela invade Guyana, Trinidad and Tobago will definitely step forward.
So I want to ask all the citizens, even those in ministerial position like our retired former Prime Minister Dr. Keith Rowley, even Stuart Young, Marvin Gonzalez, Foster Cummings. I want to ask these men and them. Did Trinidad and Tobago bomb that drug boat? This is what I want to ask. Did Trinidad and Tobago bomb that drug boat? If not, hush all your mouth. Why you all backing up a tree? Why you all don't go to the US and ask them why? Why you all don't go to Donald Trump? Call him, send a letter, send a message, send something. Ask him, why did he do that? You all jumping on Kamala? Trinidad and Tobago is like the damn Wild Wild West. Guns in every corner. Imagine 17-year-old, 16-year-old, 15 years old now. Police holding them with firearm. But the former ministers and them jumping on Kamala's throat because of what? She support the US and taking down drug smugglers. Did you all perform that for Trinidad and Tobago? Keep our borders safe? So the people who all you said, all you're working for, to give them a better life, did it happen? No, it didn't happen. So shut all your trap. Shut all your mouth. Keep all your tongue silent. It's the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago who voted you all out. Not you. As a minister, the citizens did that. I cannot believe for big, educated individuals, they're thinking like that. like a 5-year-old child. It's sad, you know. It's really sad. And that was the kind of people governing Trinidad and Tobago. Here's the reason why we went downhill instead of up the hill. Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard never launched anything. The Defense Force never launched anything. The US did it. So to Dulcie Rodriguez now, that is the same person who came in here that Dr. Rowley said, well, I didn't know who come in here now. Same person. She and the Prime Minister had a big photo shoot, big red box. I remember that? Big handing over. Nobody knows what was in the box. But say what? Now she's threatening the very country that she came to. She is threatening the very country and the people and the ministers that they did business with as a former regime was governing Trinidad and Tobago. Imagine that, eh? I guess I'm getting the US from Trinidad and Tobago again. It's sad. It's sad. So why Dulcie don't take the fight to the US? Is a boss? Take it to the US. Trinidad and Tobago didn't bomb those boats. The US did. Take it to them. Former Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs, Dr. Amy Brown says, the PNM is concerned about the PM response. Listen to this.
We've expressed the concerns of the People's National Movement and all right-thinking citizens. Our nation has found itself being drawn deeper and deeper into a crisis, a regional crisis, largely of our own making. When I say our making, I'm not talking about the right-thinking citizens now, I'm talking about the government led by the Prime Minister Kamla Persad-Bissessar, with no clear rationale or justification or benefit to this nation. This government continues to make reckless statements and comments that devalue CARICOM, that add tension to a very important relationship between two neighboring states, a small one, Trinidad and Tobago, and a very large one, Venezuela.
So Amy Brown cared so much. Can Amy Brown come out and tell the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago why we gave Venezuela $1 million US? And to top it off, Trinidad and Tobago is not warring with Venezuela. Did he say that? No, he didn't say that. What did Amy Brown do as a former Minister of Foreign and CARICOM Affairs to protect Trinidad and Tobago? What did he do? They cannot come out and say what they did because all our Coast Guard boat pack up. All pack up. So was he okay with contraband and illegal firearm and drugs coming in? Was he okay with it? Keep in mind, it's his government that gives Venezuela $1 million every year, or every month, I believe. And he did nothing. Rock back and just listen. So what you going to do now for the next 5 years, Amory, is continue listening. Because he didn't try to fix the problem. And I really want you to understand, Amory, that neither the Coast Guard nor the Defense Force bombed that boat. And it's the Prime Minister's duty to defend her country. You didn't do it. You suck at your job. So, Amory, did you know Venezuela was sanctioned by the US? You are a Foreign and CARICOM Affairs Minister. It's obvious you would know that. But yet your government went ahead and did business in Venezuela. So what you going to tell the people now, Amory? You think they want to hear you sit on behind a mic and open your mouth and say things? No, they don't want to hear that. That is why you end up on your position. It's sad, but that's the reality you and your party facing. The citizen was aware of it. What about if the United States now send a clear letter and a warning, or even sanction Trinidad and Tobago? Who was going to do business with us? Emery, why don't you come out and tell the public that? Instead of you jumping on Kamala case. Because you did absolutely nothing to try and prevent the drugs from coming into the country. Or you want to say that is not your job. It's sad, it's sad, it's sad. Now, Brown says, there are very important interests between border of Trinidad and Tobago and Venezuela, including energy, maritime, and search and rescue, etc. So you want to talk about energy? Number one, Venezuela sanction. You want to talk about maritime? Leave it up to CARICOM. You want to talk about search and rescue? We have Coast Guard. We have diplomatic channels. All I didn't know side was so brightened. Nevertheless, from Brown's point of view, tension arising, he added that he does not agree that the people are calling the PM by any derogatory name. But this government has contributed to a downward spiral. No, Amory, there is where you're wrong. Listen to Amory.
Across which, that border across which very important interests lie with respect to the energy sector, with respect to the use of our maritime space, fisheries, movement of commercial vessels, search and rescue operations, a wide range of interests, and of course, movement of migrants that occur depending on factors on either side, and security interests as well, which are quite genuine. So to see now this has gotten to the point when these relationships were responsibly and prudently managed and tensions were kept to a minimum, to see where they are being ratcheted up week after week, to the point where you now have government ministers, cabinet ministers on both sides of the border, resulting to petty and childish name calling. No, we don't agree that people are calling the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago by any derogatory name, but we've contributed to a downward spiral.
Somebody sent Amory the video now, but they're calling Kamala the drunk. Somebody sent Amory the video. Because apparently he forgot that Trinidad and Tobago is not saying she's a drunkard, you know. Let me tell you something. If she want to drink, she rum and get drunk. That's she personal business, not Saieed one. I want you to understand that Trinidad and Tobago, you always drink rum. Is that anybody's business beside yours? No, it's not nobody's business. Carnival time, almost 90% of Trinidad and Tobago on the streets. Some naked, some three-quarter naked. Some I even know where they is after they done drink. But nevertheless, Amory, we understand everything that you're saying, but you should have done something when you were there in government. If perchance the PNM was in power when that boat was struck by the US, I wonder what Amory would have said. You think Donald Trump would have sanctioned Trinidad and Tobago? You think Donald Trump would have come down hard on Trinidad and Tobago, seeing that the former administration was doing business with Venezuela? Now, I want you to understand something. I am not bad talking no country. Not Trinidad and Tobago, not Guyana, not the Caribbean, not Venezuela. But the reality is what we're dealing with. The reality. Who bombed Venezuelan boats? Trinidad and Tobago? No. Guyana? No. The Caribbean? No. Who did it? The US Marine. Because why? They claim too much drugs is entering the United States, and they decided to send troops in the Caribbean on international waters. So I wonder what Brown's statement would have been if they were in power. A statement to the US. It's sad, but this is the reality we face. Yes, because of the bombing, certain things have stopped. We don't know who bring in from who didn't bring in. We didn't. But nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago, this is the reality we face in, and we have to deal with it. We have to deal with it. That is not our fault. They in the international waters, you know. Just how Donald Trump saying that Venezuela cartels are running into the US with illegal drugs, gun, human trafficking. It's the same way they come into Trinidad and Tobago. But did Amory Brown do anything about it? That is my point. Donald Trump is standing up for the US and decide to take action. What was Amory Brown doing to stop it from coming to Trinidad? That is the main question. What was he doing? And that is the difference between two ministers. That is the difference with two high-ranking individuals. Amory Brown, a Foreign and CARICOM Minister for Trinidad and Tobago, and Donald Trump, the President of the United States. He stood up for the United States. Amory Brown sat down and allowed it to come. It's sad, but that's the difference. But now you're down on the Prime Minister. Kamala Prasad. Why? You didn't do anything. Zip your mouth now and rock back. That's all you have to do now. Your opinion does not matter. I am telling you that on national television. It's sad. It's sad. So viewers, we have about 1 minute left on our program tonight. Nevertheless, Trinidad and Tobago. Ask if he believes the relationship between Trinidad and Venezuela can be salvaged. Brown says it has to be. Listen to this.
Must be salvaged. As I say, this relationship is critical to both countries. And so, yes, a lot of damage has been done. Yes, the trajectory is very negative and worrisome. But fortunately, this country has, as its leader of the opposition, Mrs. Penelope Beckles-Robinson, who has far more diplomatic and foreign policy experience, literally, than the sitting Prime Minister of this time, who has been kept well up to date by her team, who's monitoring and responding as appropriate. And it is our vision that in the soonest possible time, whenever this democracy would allow, we would once again be able to pick up the pieces and quickly restore the prestige and position of Trinidad and Tobago.
So I have listened to him and I have one question. If Penelope have all this experience, why they put him? Why they put him? But nevertheless. So Trinidad and Tobago, remember viewers, from this weekend, my yacht will be available for those of you who want to go down the island, those of you who want to rent the yacht. It's not a problem. Contact me at 339-1670, viewers. You could do it tours down the island. You could party on the boat. We could cook on the boat. You don't have to walk with your curry duck, you know. We're making a hot pot of curry duck on the boat itself. So viewers, I must say, good night to you.